Autumn. The leaves have started to turn brown and many species of birds have migrated south for the winter. But we're here today to see an event that happens with the largest land mammal in the UK, the rut of the red deer. Now, rutting season occurs between the end of September and the start of November, and it's where male stags will compete for harems of fertile females known as hinds.
During rutting season, we see three types of red deer: female hinds, juvenile males, sometimes known as brockets, and adult male stags. Hinds are smaller than stags, weighing between 60 and 120 kilos and standing up to 1.2 metres at the shoulder. Red deer have a distinctive rusty red coloration during the summer, which turns to brown during the winter, and unlike calves, adult red deer do not have any spots. But the easiest way to tell a female red deer apart from the males is that they lack antlers. In woodlands, red deer are a largely solitary species or occur in mother and calf groups, whereas on open ground, larger single-sex groups assemble, only mixing during the rut. Males develop their first proper antlers in their second year and are often known as brockets due to the set of antlers being unbranched. From their third year onwards, their antlers begin to develop additional branches, leading to the usual moty points or tines of a fully adult stag. Until the age of 5 or 6, males are considered juveniles, even though they are sexually mature before their second birthday in productive woodland populations. Only stags over 5 years old tend to mate, with the juveniles often being found in bachelor groups during rutting season. The male stags weigh between 90 and 190 kilos, standing up to 1.4 metres tall at the shoulder and have those distinctive multi-branched antlers. Antlers differ from horns. Horns are a permanent structure made up of a bony core covered by a keratin sheath, whereas antlers are entirely composed of bone and are shed annually, with stags having increasingly branched antlers with age, with new sets grown in time to be used as weapons in the rutting season. During rutting season, these males have returned to the home ranges of the hinds with one goal in mind: forming harems of their own, and they are willing to fight for it. Locking of antlers is the last stage of competition between stags, as choosing your battles is just as important as winning battles for mating rights. This is because the rut can cause permanent injuries for these stags, from broken bones to flesh wounds and even death, so a stag is only going to take part in fights he believes he has a chance of winning. Vocalisations by male stags are the first line of defence. These roars, known as bellows, are an example of honest signalling, with the largest males emitting the deepest and loudest bellows, allowing rivals to determine from a distance whether it was worth trying their luck. Now, the hinds can also use this signal in order to judge the quality of males in their area. If bellows are equally matched and neither stag retreats, the rivals will size one another up by parallel walking. If neither backs down, this is when the stags will lock their antlers and engage in a fight, shoving one another to settle their dispute for the rights to access females. Two young stags come to clash under the watchful eyes of a larger male stag. Now, the winner of this rut is still unlikely to gain any mating rights, due to the presence of this larger male that neither of them will be able to compete with. The best chance of these two younger stags getting any mating success this season will be to sneak a mating from the edge of a harem or to find an unguarded hind. This bachelor group of 4 juvenile males, 3 of whom are brockets, are also unlikely to have any mating success this season. However, you're still likely to see such subordinate males practicing their rutting skills and finding their limits before future rutting seasons. Such clashes are often initiated by the more dominant and ended by the more subordinate of the pairing. Due to testosterone levels being higher at this time of year, you'll also see these males not just practicing their rutting, but practicing their mating skills. Though females don't engage in the rut, it doesn't mean that they too don't sometimes come to blows. They don't tend to fight for mating rights like the males. Instead, they're more likely to come to blows in disputes over rights to a particular area. During the season, we also see stags wearing headdresses to look larger and more formidable, wallowing by rolling in mud to spread their scent across their bodies, and tasting the air with their tongues to detect pheromones and determine if females are ready to mate.
Behind us, we are on the edge of a rut. You can see behind me the largest male stag surrounded by his harem of female hinds. Now, the largest stags can support harems of over 40 hinds, which this male has. Now, in order to maintain this harem, he's going to make sure that none of these females stray too far, and he's also going to make sure that none of the bachelor group of more juvenile males to my other side try and sneak any matings. Now, maintaining this harem, keeping the bachelors at bay, it's quite an energetic and costly endeavour and leaves very little time for eating or even resting. As such, when it gets near the end of the season like we are now, you'll typically see lots of them resting on the ground like behind me. As much as it's tiring, it's more than worth the effort, because typically a hind is only going to give birth to a single calf each year who will be born late spring to early summer, and this male wants to make sure that as many of the offspring are his own, because the more offspring you have, the more of your genetic code is in the next generation of deer. Now, come about March time, he's also going to lose his current set of antlers and then start to regrow his next set, ready for the next rutting season. This is also going to take quite a lot of energy, so for now, he's more than earned this current bit of respite. So we're going to leave him and his females to it.